Being able to move effectively is an essential part of any first-person shooter. That's especially true for Titanfall 2, where there's an emphasis on parkour and being able to use a map's verticality to get the drop on your fellow pilots. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the basic movement skills so that we can lay the groundwork for some of the more advanced stuff that'll come later. Here we are in the Gauntlet, which is part of the training mission for Titanfall 2's campaign. To get here, just start a new campaign, it'll put you here automatically, or go over to Mission Select, Training, and then Gauntlet Practice Only. I like to use this because there's some interesting features, as well as this speed counter on the right, which will give you a nice metric to determine if you're doing things properly. Let's clear these guys out so we can have a little bit more space. So moving around, walking normally 14 kph, sprinting up to 22 kph, and crouch walking at 7 kph. Talk about the jump. To jump off a sprint, you kind of maintain speed, and that's true just about everything. When you're in the air, you maintain the speed that you had when you left it, with the exception of gravity. You know, that will accelerate you downward, obviously, and you'll get some more speed. Let's talk about our first boost. That is the slide. So to do that, you're going to get up to full speed and then crouch. Now this gets you up to 32 kph momentarily, but that speed's scrubbed off almost immediately the longer you hold the slide. So to use this effectively, you're going to want to jump as soon as you hit full speed. So you can see we hit 32 and kind of maintain that all the way through the air. That's a nice little boost as opposed to just sprinting and then double jumping. The more that you can utilize this, the more you're going to realize walking around like this is not quick. So one way to kind of maintain speed while you're on the ground is by bunny hopping. And there are two ways to do this. You can bunny hop by just jumping when you hit the ground. That was a double jump. I'll show you what I mean. This is just a standard jump at the end. So we're going to slide, jump, jump, jump. So you can see we hit 27 while we were all the way through the air. And that's faster than a regular jump at 22 kph, but not as fast as when you utilize a crouch. So I'm going to go back to the other side and show you the second type. And that is when you preload in a crouch before you hit the ground. So if we get into our slide and then we hit crouch before we hit this ground, we'll make sure that we get another boost. And this is kind of chained. You can use this ad infinitum or to your heart's content. So let's give that a look. So I preload crouch, jump again, preload crouch. Now that was kind of goofy because I air strafed improperly. So air strafing in this game is going to be one way that you can change direction while you're in the air. If you don't use movement keys, let's say we just jump off here, no matter which way you look, you're going to just go in a straight line. Air strafing is achieved the same way it is in CSGO or any of the Counter-Strike games. You'll be familiar with it if you've done a whole lot of surfing. You turn the direction that you want to look with your aiming, and you also move that same direction. So if we're going to do it left, while we're in the air, it's going to kind of be like that. You know, moving and looking in the same direction. Let's do that here. So you can see we had a pretty drastic change in direction. Now you will achieve better speeds in this game if you don't do things too suddenly. So like let's say if we hit this at a really sharp angle, it's going to take us a little bit of time to get up to full speed. Whereas if we hit it at a nice soft angle, it's going to be much more effective at chaining things together. And that's true with basically everything, you know, especially with our air strafe. Let's try and bunny hop and then air strafe to the left and bunny hop again. I don't even know if there's ground there, so this might not work. Okay, so there was ground. That's nice and convenient. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. You can use that, you know, like I said, an infinite number of times. Just make sure that you're preloading crouch before you hit the ground. So that only gets you up to 33 kph, but that's still way faster than walking around or sprinting. The next step is chaining in wall runs, or staying on the walls as long as possible. So when you're on the wall, you're going to accelerate up to about 31 kph until you drop off or until you jump off. When you jump off, you're going to get back up to 42 kph, and that's pretty standard for max speed. This is what you can expect if you're trying to do things effectively. Walk around and shoot without paying too much attention and not having ideal situations. However, there is a way to get faster than that. Now, like I said, the longer that you touch a surface, the more speed you'll scrub off. That's true for sliding, wall running, etc., etc. So when you're wall running, you're going to try and stay off the wall as much as you can. So just getting up to 42 and getting off the wall, Now, I was hitting those at pretty rough angles, and that's why I wasn't achieving the nice 42, 44 kph. But let's head on over to a different area, and I can show you how to get even a little bit faster. Here we are in the second section of the gauntlet, which has some nice parallel walls to practice our wall chaining abilities. Now, like I said, you want to be really touch and go. Just get on the wall, jump off, get on the wall, jump off, get on the wall, jump off, and just chain that until you get to where you need to be. But if you're able to jump off immediately, and when I say immediately, I mean immediately, because there's no tolerance to get this wrong. If you're able to jump off that wall immediately, you can get up to about 53 kph. So let's give that a shot. I'm going to do some regular wall running now. You can see we're getting about 41, 42. So let's try and jump off these walls. And that gets us up to 50 kph. Now, if you can keep doing that and keep doing it and keep doing that, that's going to be the fastest way to get around. But like I said, it's so hard to pull off consistently, especially when you throw curves into the mix. You're going to have to just practice and practice until you get that right. So that's about all I have to show you guys. That's about it. Just practice this as much as you can. It's good to try and not take the best routes all the time. So just shake it up. You know, let's say like, oh, I got to turn around now. And, oh, there's like a window there, so I got to get under that. You never want to slide upstairs though, so don't actually do that. So it's good to just keep practicing and keep doing as much as you can, because it's not about who can get through the gauntlet fastest. It's about who can adapt and do things the way that they need to be done, you know, depending on your scenario or the map. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. More Titanfall videos to come, but that's all I got for now, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.